Good afternoon, everyone. Welcome to this virtual presentation about the Humanities Division at Endicott College. I wish we could meet in person, but we'll do the best we can with this new technology. My name is Mark Herlihy, Associate Dean of Arts and Sciences. I've been working for the college for about 19 years. I'm going to give a brief overview of the humanities in general, and then speak very briefly about each of the four majors in the humanities. I think the first thing that you need to know about the humanities at Endicott is that our programs are growing and earning recognition. Enrollments in English and history. A lot more students are interested in liberal studies. They're not quite sure what they want to major in, and that's fine. So we've seen increased enrollments across the board in many ways. We established the Tadler Center for the Humanities in 2018, thanks to a $500,000 donation from the parents of an alumna. The center supports a range of initiatives, including a Distinguished Speaker Series and other initiatives. Recently, the National Endowment for the Humanities awarded the college a $103,000 grant to host the Salem Witch Trials, Their World and Legacy, a 3-week summer seminar for secondary English and history teachers. We were supposed to host it this July. We're going to have to postpone it for a year. These grants are very competitive. Only about 31% of the proposed projects were funded. It's really a testament to the strength of the humanities at the college that we were funded for this exciting project. We have a very impressive faculty in the humanities. They're established or emerging stars in their respective fields and dedicated and dynamic teachers. Many have published books or multiple books, 3 or 4 or 5 books in some cases with major presses, Routledge, Oxford University Press, Simon & Schuster, Grove Atlantic, and Random House, for example. Our English major has 3 concentrations: creative writing, literature and language, and secondary education. Very accomplished faculty in English. Dr. Charlotte Gordon won the National Book Critics Circle Award for biography in 2015 for Romantic Outlaws. Elizabeth Winthrop's last novel, The Mercy, #1 on the British Broadcasting Corporation's list of top works of fiction in 2018. In English, you can choose from an array of American, British, and world literature courses, as well as professional writing courses. Creative writing students can do a 2-course sequence in writing poetry, short fiction, novel writing, and other genres, and take semester-long courses such as young adult fiction writing. We have a vibrant literary culture on campus and many opportunities to publish and present your creative work. We have a visiting author program. A few years ago, we hosted Paul Harding. He won the Pulitzer Prize for fiction in 2010. He visited some classes, gave a reading, took questions from the audience, and then went to dinner in the dining hall with a group of English majors and English faculty. Through our Young Writers series, the work of one student each semester is published in chapbook form. You can contribute to or help edit the Endicott Review or the Endicott Observer. Graduating creative writing students publish their creative theses in book form. Our history major has 2 concentrations: secondary education teacher licensure, or public history, which prepares students for careers in museums, heritage tourism, and historic preservation. One could, however, just be a straight history major. We have a rich array of local history courses such as Boston history, Salem witch trials, a great range of United States history courses. I've listed some here, as well as a great list of world history courses, which you can samples of right here. Our history majors pursue varied internships and career paths. Secondary ed majors do school-based practicums and supervised student teaching. Other students have interned at the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame, the Boston Tea Party Ship and Museum, the Massachusetts Historical Society, the Massachusetts State House. In fact, 2 of our history majors interned at the governor's office, one for Deval Patrick, another one for Charlie Baker. Our students have interned at law firms and with businesses, etc. International studies. In this major, you can develop expertise in Europe, Asia, or Latin America, or focus your studies on an area such as international politics, governance, security, or global health and sustainability. Broad range of courses to choose from, such as international law and organizations, political and social change in developing countries, international conflicts, and world disease, which we all know too much about these days. Internships for international studies students are varied. Here are some examples. Our international studies majors have earned master's degrees at some very prestigious institutions: London School of Economics, Tufts University's Fletcher School of Law and Diplomacy. And they've gone on to launch great careers with Pioneer Investments, the U.S. State Department, and other businesses and nonprofits. Liberal studies is a terrific option for students who are not sure what to major in when they start at Endicott. Many students will only major in liberal studies temporarily. They will use it as a base to explore potential majors that are more traditional and focused, and they often transition out of liberal studies. And I should note, when they do so, they carry with them the credits that they earned in that first semester or in that first year, right? They take intro courses in fields in which they're interested and in which they might transition into. They also take some gen ed electives. All those credits will transfer over to the new program. So students in liberal studies are not wasting credits or wasting money just taking courses. Liberal studies students can also design their own major. A number of students have used this option to essentially major in theater arts or other fields. Liberal studies students can really pick internships that align with their interests. Here are some examples. Our liberal studies students have also gone on and earned master's degrees at prestigious institutions, Oxford University, Johns, Boston College, Boston University, etc. At this point, I'd like to turn it over to Professor Gordon. I'm going to unshare my screen, so just bear with me for a minute. And Dr. Gordon, do you want to say hello?
Yeah, I wish I could meet all of you in person, as Dr. Herlihy said, but it's exciting to get to talk to you today, right now. And I wanted to tell you a little bit about who I am and what the Endicott community is like, especially inside the Humanities program. So I am a historian and literary scholar. I've written a bunch of books. My most recent book was the story of Mary Shelley, who wrote Frankenstein, and her mom, Mary Wollstonecraft, who wrote A Vindication of the Rights of Woman. And I loved writing that book and still talk about it all over the world. It's really an exciting, exciting to get to talk about ideas. I think one of the reasons why I love being at Endicott is, well, first of all, I really enjoy my colleagues. We have an amazing humanities faculty. It's a funny thing to say, but we're all really good friends, and I think that helps establish a very collegial and interdisciplinary feeling. A lot of us team teach together, and we love creating new courses together. So Dr. Young, who's going to speak after me, and I created a course together called The Good Life that I loved teaching because I loved hearing what the students had to say about what is the good life? How do you lead a good life? And it seems like a very important topic right now as we're enduring this pandemic together. I think that one of the great joys for me at Endicott, because I came from big universities, is how well we get to know our students. I have done so many one-on-one sessions with writers, with young writers. Our classes are small. I really get to know everybody. I get to know people's aspirations, ambitions, fears, dreams, and we often stay in touch after people graduate. So in some ways, I feel like the humanities program at Endicott is one of our greatest strengths, because I think it's one of the places where we all get to know each other so well and really sort of stimulate each other to be, our very best selves.
Professor Young, do you want to introduce yourself and say hello, please?
Sure, I'd be happy to. Thanks, Mark, and thank you, Charlotte. So good afternoon, accepted students. And let me begin by saying congratulations to all of you, and thanks for joining us here. I look forward to hearing your questions. But congrats, first of all. It's great that you've been accepted and you're considering Endicott as one of your choices. I've worked at Endicott for 15 years. I teach primarily courses in religion and the philosophy department. I also do teach freshman writing. Some of my favorite courses to teach are religion and politics, or ancient and medieval philosophy. As Professor Gordon mentioned, we do a lot of team teaching. I have team taught with her on the course on the good life, also a course on the art and literature of war. And it is that sense of communal endeavor, the way we work together as faculty, but also with our students. That's one of the things that makes Endicott a really special place. I would just say a couple other things. Like what I really like about teaching at Endicott is that because we do know our students so well, we get to watch students grow and mature over the course of 4 years. Students really expand their sense of what the world is, their understanding of its complexity, of its diversity, and of how to engage with it. How students can get a better sense of what's possible for them and what's possible for us together, which I think are really important things to be thinking about, you know, in the face of issues like the pandemic we're facing today and other more mundane issues that we face on an everyday basis. As a professor, I would say that what a lot of us really try to do in the classroom is to help you develop the skills to adapt and to respond to developing problems, to be able to ask important and critical questions, and develop the research and writing skills that you'll be able to carry forward, whether it's in a particular field or in the various endeavors you will undertake throughout your life. And I would just finally add that I think one thing that does make Endicott distinctive is that we do have a very interdisciplinary focus. Professor Herlihy talked earlier about the different fields you can work in, whether it's history or English or liberal studies. It can include philosophy or religion as well. But in any of these cases, I think we incorporate material and questions and approaches from more than one perspective. That's part of what makes the team teaching so important, but it's something we do in all of our courses. So just as an example, in my ethics course, we will incorporate not only philosophical texts, but also some literature with Shakespeare, some anthropology, some psychiatry, things like that, to try to give students a more complex view of the issues at hand. So I'll just conclude with that, and thank you again for joining us. I hope you consider Endicott. It's a wonderful place to teach, and I think it's a wonderful place for students to grow and develop, and we really hope we'll have you with us in the fall.
Thank you, Professor Young. Victoria, you want to introduce yourself?
Yeah.
Talk about your perspective, yeah.
Yeah. So hi, I'm Victoria. I'm just going to talk a little about my experience and why I chose Endicott. So I'm from New Hampshire. I'm a senior currently, history major with concentration in secondary ed. I chose Endicott because of the way that I felt the minute that I was on the campus. This campus is not only beautiful, but the environment is welcoming, supportive, inclusive, vibrant. Everyone supports each other, and it's a very close community in all aspects of it. But I also chose it because of the opportunity for small classes, which meant that I was able to connect more with my professors and my peers, as well as the internship program. And over the past 4 years, I've had the pleasure of experiencing both, in that I've created lasting relationships with many of my professors who prioritize my time as a student. And I've also made a lot of friendships with my classmates, which has helped me in the classroom and outside of the classroom. I've been able to take a lot of history courses that are of interest to me, because there's always history electives that are available. So more of like Irish history, economics, public history, Salem witch trials, and more. So it kind of there's the more like United States government or American history, but there's also more that you can choose that's more of interest to you, which is really exciting for me. And all my experiences in my history classes have been great, as the professors really make them interesting. There's always projects, in-depth discussions, and they really try to make real-world connections, which I find important. As a secondary ed concentration, I've also been in a secondary ed classroom since my freshman year, which is the really amazing part of the internship program. So you're doing an internship for me in a classroom from freshman year through senior year. So I've done student teaching from 6th grade to 11th grade in a bunch of different history courses. So I've had a lot of opportunities to see what I like and what I don't like, which is a great part of the internship program. So you'll be able to see an opportunity of what you like and what you don't like, and kind of hone in on what you want to focus on. At Endicott, I've also gotten involved in a lot of clubs, such as education clubs, some intramurals, leadership societies, and more. And one of the opportunities that I had was to study abroad in Florence, Italy, my junior year, which is an amazing experience, and I highly recommend it if you're thinking about it. Endicott really encourages studying abroad and makes it an option for you, so I think it's a great thing to do. And I guess just lastly, I love Endicott a lot, so much so that I'm even completing my master's here, so you can see that I don't want to leave yet. So and do my master's, and then hopefully I can become a middle or high school teacher, history teacher, after I complete that. So I really love Endicott, and I suggest coming here. I think it'll be a great opportunity for you.
Thanks so much, Victoria. Michael, you want to talk about your experience as a liberal studies major?
Sure, sure. Hi, everybody. My name's Mike. I'm also from New Hampshire, and I'm a senior. I came into Endicott as an early childhood education major, and after my first experience in a classroom through the internship program, well, I had other experiences in classrooms, but during my internship experience, I realized that that isn't necessarily what I wanted to do for the rest of my life. So I came back and kind of reassessed after that and decided that I wanted to pursue music, whether it be performative music, whether it be teaching music or creating music. I wanted music to somehow be involved. So I am now part of the individually designed major program. I've created my own major. And what I've loved about that is that I've been able to kind of choose exactly what I am getting out of my college experience. If I came in as, let's say, a business major focusing on X, Y, and Z, then I would have to take classes that had been set for me since my freshman year. But since I am an individually designed major, I can choose that I want to take a music and math class, or I want to take this because it fits better with what I'm trying to learn and specifically where my life is going. So I've really enjoyed that opportunity. And like Victoria said, I've also been involved in many, many clubs and organizations, from Echo, which is our a cappella group on campus, which I ran for 4 years, Spotlight Drama Club, Endicott Singers, Constellation. Everything that I've done at Endicott musically has benefited me greatly. And what I've loved most is that being in the individually designed major program, there's only 2 or 3 other people similar to what I'm doing that are focusing on music. So there have been a lot of opportunities that come into the school that are presented to the music faculty, and they only have 2 or 3 students to give those opportunities to. Whereas if I were at Berkeley or somewhere else where I could study music, the whole school would be vying for that opportunity. But just having me be one of the only students has given me a lot of chance to figure out what I want to do. I got my first job as a music director through Endicott. My academic advisor sent it to me, and now that's what I want to do for the rest of my life, and that's what I'm going to do after school. So I'm very grateful to have the personal connections that I do with the faculty, because through that I've kind of solidified what I want to do.
Thanks so much, Mike. Sabrina, you want to talk about English?
Yeah, hi. So I'm Sabrina. I'm from North Attleboro, Mass. It's just an hour away from Endicott. I'm a junior English and secondary ed major, which I really love because I kind of get the best of both worlds, being in the School of Arts and Sciences and also the School of Education. I chose Endicott because I kind of fell in love with the campus immediately. The first time I went on, not only just the scenery, the way it looks, the beaches, but also just the sense of community that you really get from the first time you step on campus. I'm also someone that definitely needs smaller classroom sizes in order to do well academically, and it's really given me the opportunity to make connections with my professors and my peers, and that's helped me a lot. I think my parents wanted me to go to Endicott because of the internship program, which as a senior in high school, I didn't really see as something that was super important. I figured, yeah, everyone, needs to get a job eventually. And now that I've had experience in 5 different schools, grades 6 through 12, I really can't believe that not every school requires this. It's something that I feel like you kind of take for granted a little bit, but I'll have graduated with a ton of hours and my MTELs completed, which is the teaching licensure exams. And so it's allowed me to do so much more than I ever thought possible, and definitely puts you ahead of students graduating from other colleges that don't have that opportunity. And it also has everything to do even outside of academics and outside of your career. So I've been able to join a lot of clubs. I've been involved in student government since my freshman year. I've become an orientation leader, and I run on the women's track and field team. And joining these have just allowed me to create personal connections with faculty, staff, students, kind of everyone from all aspects of campus. That community feel that I felt right away has only enhanced since in my 3 years being here. It's really sad we can't be on campus now, but I'm glad to get back in the fall and hopefully see some of you guys.
Great. Thank you so much, Sabrina. Before we move to our final student, Rashid Stow, I'd like to invite the prospective students and parents to submit questions using the chat button on your screen. I think it's in the bottom. And we'll have time for Q&A. So if you have questions, please send them in, and we'll try to get to them as best we can. Rashid, you want to say hello?
Hi, my name is Rashid Sao. I am a senior international studies major, and I am from the Ivory Coast, West Africa. Endicott has just been second home for me, coming from West Africa, which is not next door, and being on a small campus here in Endicott, it can be scary at times, like the transition from high school to college is in general. However, I've had the opportunity to be surrounded by amazing faculty at Endicott, and have, just as Michael, as Sabrina said, have that personal connection with professors and the faculty has just been wonderful, especially that the program of international studies at Endicott is a small program, and I had the opportunity to have some sort of intimacy with it. I could pick and choose my classes. I've had courses in psychology, courses in history, in philosophy, in sociology, and with focus on international conflict, because that's something that I want to go into. So I was able to pick and choose classes to fit, as Michael said, what my orientation is and what I want to do with my career, which is hopefully someday to become an ambassador and work in conflict resolution. And so just being at Endicott and having that small one-on-one touch with smaller size classrooms has been very great and beneficial for me, especially with the language as well, which I'm from a French-speaking country. So the ability to grow and as an individual and as a professional has been just wonderful. On top of that, I've made amazing friendships. Some of my best friends are from Endicott, and the friendships that I made, I know will stay with me for the rest of my life. And it's just been, I don't think I would have been able necessarily to make this kind of special and very personal connections if I were on a bigger campus. And so just for that, I'm really grateful to Endicott. On top of that, in terms of leadership positions outside the classroom, I've had the opportunity to run an intercultural club at Endicott for about the past 3 years. I've been involved with the Office of International Education, helping other international and exchange students when they come to Endicott to be acclimated, feel part of the community, and include them. I have had the opportunity to have small programs where even one of my articles has been published. I work with Dean Herlihy on an immersion program in Gloucester. I have been involved with the Office of the President of Endicott College for the past 3 presidents of Endicott, which has just been wonderful, again, giving me the opportunity to grow. And besides that, Endicott's secret weapon, as I've mentioned before, is the internship program. And as Victoria and Sabrina said, I don't know how not many colleges have that. It's just been really wonderful. And I think Sabrina summarized it really well. At first you think, well, that's okay. At some point I'm gonna have a job, but then you come to Endicott and you experience it, and it's just life-changing. For my first internship, for example, I worked with a microfinance company, and I quickly learned that I never wanted to work in finance ever. And if I hadn't had that internship, I wouldn't necessarily have had the opportunity to realize that. And on top of that, with my second internship, I work with immigrants from Latin America, and it's been great in terms of knowing what some of the U.S. immigration policies are and how they apply to different groups, and even being able to practice my language skills, such as Spanish. And for my third internship, I learned a lot more about American politics and the foreign policy, because I worked with Congressman Seth Moulton, who's a representative in the 6th District of Massachusetts. And it's just been an amazing internship. I've had the opportunity to make connections with big, basically political organizations. And in terms of what I want to do, it gave me the opportunity to reinforce that feeling of, I know I chose the right major and I've had the right training at Endicott, and this is exactly what I want to do. And I also did a small study abroad program in Central America, in Costa Rica, this past January, and it's just been really wonderful. We worked with an elementary school in San Jose, the capital of Costa Rica, and being able to participate in a philanthropic program and helping the community and student teaching. It's just given me, again, another reaffirmation of this is something I want to do with my life. So Endicott over the past 4 years been home for me. I am sad that the situation that we are in right now is making it hard to see and keep in touch with everyone. At the same time, I look forward to coming back for a graduation at some point and seeing everyone.
Thanks so much. Time for some questions. A few have come in from the chat button. one question, when would the earliest time a student who is studying liberal arts could change their major? If you think you want to change now, you can work with admissions until students matriculate, until new students matriculate. They have to work with admissions about switching into a major. Some liberal studies students will decide in that first semester, before it's time to register for spring courses, that they might want to make a switch, or they might decide before it's time to register for fall courses in their sophomore year. So it depends on the student. There's another question of the students here who presented, when did you do your internships? Mostly freshman, sophomore year and semester long internship as seniors, or any variation there? Or?
I'm gonna go with it and say for the first internship, usually students will do it typically in the winter after the first semester. So basically, the first semester of college starts in September, and so usually you either do it in the winter after or maybe over the summer. And I think I did mine the winter after I came to Endicott. I did my first internship, and then did my second internship the following year in the summer, and the third internship last semester actually in the fall of 2019 of my senior year.
Anyone else want to? Here's another question. When do most students study abroad? I think it's typically in the junior year. Some might go as sophomores. A few might go as seniors in the fall, perhaps, but mostly juniors. Students, would you agree with that?
Yeah, I work in the study abroad office. So as early as the first semester of your sophomore year, student can study abroad. I think it's a little different for nursing majors because they can only study abroad in the junior year. But other than that, pretty much any other major can start as early as the first semester of the sophomore year. And that's for either the semester long study abroad program or the year abroad. And because we also have shorter programs for students who've never been outside the country and don't necessarily know whether they can handle the full semester or full year abroad, they have the opportunity to participate in 3 weeks programs that we have abroad, some in Europe, such as there's one that goes to Spain, the one that I went to Costa Rica, others to Greece, I think even Dubai. And so they can do that as a freshman in the winter. That's 3 weeks. And from there, what we find out is that a lot of students, after they come back from these programs as freshmen, they decide this was fun and I want to go back abroad and do something for a semester. Yeah.
Right. Here's a question. What is it like switching your major? Is it very difficult? I would say it's not very difficult. We want students to be excited about their major. There's a change of major form, and you meet with your advisor, and then the dean or the associate dean of your program, and you find out what the requirements are. You find out how the courses you've already taken will fit into your new program as either gen ed requirements for your electives, etc. It's a pretty simple process. We don't try to set up barriers for students to switch from one major to another. There's another question. Would you recommend student athletes to study abroad? I don't see why not. The off season, perhaps. Sabrina, you want to speak to that?
Yeah, I was going to say a lot of my teammates have gone abroad in the past. A lot went this fall since we are a spring sport. I think as long as you're in communication with your advisor and your coach, there really is no reason not to. It's a great opportunity, and the school is really great for study abroad, so you might as well, take advantage of it if you can, probably in the off season.
Yeah, I'd like to second that and say that, yeah, absolutely. And as Sabrina said, you just have to make sure you communicate with your coaches and your advisor. And something that's really interesting with Endicott sending our athletes abroad is that some of them have the opportunity to play the sports that they play on campus here at Endicott in the school that they'll be to. We've had also exchange students come here at Endicott that played on the football, the rugby team, the road, I'm not boring. I was going to say track team and all of that. So there are many opportunities to take the sport that you're doing here at Endicott and bring it to the college that you're going to study abroad to. So it's just a really fun and changing thing.
Yeah, this Friday there was a virtual study abroad session for incoming Endicott students interested in study abroad, how it works, etc. So you should check that out if you're interested. Other questions?
Can we put our emails in the chat if anyone wants to reach out to us later if they come up with any more questions?
I don't see why not. Sure. Okay. Thanks for offering, Sabrina.
Mhm.
And any final questions, folks? We've gone a little over time. If not, well, it's been great to meet with you virtually. Congratulations on being to you here in the fall. I hope you and your families are doing well under these unusual circumstances. And don't hesitate to reach out to me or others in the group here if you have questions down the road about a particular program, about Endicott in general, et cetera. Even though we're all kind of housebound here, we're checking our email daily, voicemail as well, and we'll get back to you. I just want to say hello to Wong as the Dean of Arts and Sciences. Gene, do you want to just say hello?
Hi, sorry I'm a little late. Just wanted to say hello and welcome. As Dr. Herlihy indicated, I'm the Dean of the School of Arts and Sciences, and just wanted to thank you for attending our sessions and also hope to see you in fall.
Great. Thanks so much. Great to see you.